forget about this stupid platform. I really gotta change my YouTube profile picture. Okay, so as far as the news, here's just some sentiment. All right, room for relief. JP Morgan traders see possible rebound after historic degrossing. Overnight, we noted Goldman Sachs ETF desk pointing out that this feels like a combination of outright purchasers trying to find the bottom and potentially participants covering their shorts, suggesting a possible tactical turning point in the recent tech wreck. This morning, JPM's trading desk reflected on the continuing pain with notable disparities under the hood between software, AI, and momentum factors. However, most notably, their positioning intel team pointed out a massive 4 standard deviation degrossing. Additionally, it was one of the worst days for momentum in the US in years, but tactically, moves felt different yesterday. They explained with more a reduction of longs as shorts were pressed further. The theme of tech dispersion and AI vulnerability continues to dominate. Software struggles to catch a bid with Anthropic's launch of Claude Opus 4.6, the latest headwind model, also adept at financial research. Meanwhile, Amazon was the latest hyperscaler to announce a monster capex, $200 billion in 2026, and the market punishment followed suit. The fierce competition in tech is becoming increasingly net negative, particularly in some pockets like AI losers and hyperscalers versus capex beneficiaries and bottleneck plays. And given the level of stretch positioning the performance within the sector, the potential for there to be further volatility and degrossing seems high. However, the traders noted that they wouldn't be surprised if a near-term bounce prevails. JPM traders remain to view these moves as technical, but they point out that macro definitely came into the mix yesterday with the U.S. labor market data uniformly softer than expected. Nevertheless, they note that this morning Asia and US/EU futures paired losses as precious metals and Bitcoin bounce back, suggesting there may be room for relief. So they're pretty much saying they're expecting a bounce today. Okay, whole lot of common sense. What the heck are these guys getting paid millions of dollars for? Anyways, let's see. Market recap from yesterday. All three main indices shed over 1% yesterday, with the S&P 500 going negative for the year. Bitcoin sagged to 60,000, down 32% year over year, and big tech firms had upwards of 1 trillion eradicated from the market cap. Amazon drops on AI splurge. They sank 7% pre-market after unveiling a 60% jump in capital spending. The rest of the stuff doesn't matter. The economic news from yesterday was job openings hit the lowest level in 5 years. U.S. job openings fell to 6.54 million in December, which is the lowest since September of 2020. In world news and politics, Russian intel leader shot in Moscow, but he is in critical condition but alive. Starlink cuts access to Russian forces. Judge orders Musk to testify in the U.S. aid case. Federal judge ruled that Elon Musk must sit down for a deposition in a lawsuit over the last year's shutdown of U.S. aid. The DOJ's effort to block testimony was denied. And the White House launches direct. This is a big one. I don't care if you support Trump or not. This is a really big one. And hopefully one of the biggest successes of the Trump administration. This just rolled out yesterday. The White House has launched direct-to-consumer drug site. The new Trump RX platform has debuted, promoting out-of-pocket drug purchases via links to other sites. The site excludes the most high-cost drugs and may mainly aid uninsured buyers. I'm hoping that that grows into a pretty big thing. For those of you that don't know, the government pretty much reached out to all the bullshit, corrupt pharmaceutical companies and said you cannot charge Americans $500 for a drug that sells in Japan for $50, right? It needs to be the same. So, uh, the point of that Trump RX platform is to lower the cost of the price of the medicine to Americans to the price of what it's selling for internationally, like in Japan, for example. And the UK and a decent amount of Europe is bitching because all their drug prices are going up because the high American medicine prices were subsidizing really low or much lower pharmaceutical prices in the UK and in a decent amount of countries across Europe. So as a result, that should drop drug prices, but hopefully it actually works and isn't one of those things where it's like you only get a tiny handful of medications that actually are discounted. Yeah, we have the consumer sentiment 30 minutes after market open. And yeah, that's pretty much it for news. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the news. All right. Sorgan, appreciate you for joining, buddy. Well, I'm very bullish for 6870.25 to break on ES. That is a very big deal. Let's see how. Is the quality of. Let me see. For some reason, the quality of YouTube is always freaking garbage. Oh, if you guys are watching YouTube, change your quality from 480p to 1440p. Like go in your settings and boost the quality. I would, my screen is 4K screen, so I would do it in 4K. The problem is, I'm also streaming in Discord as well, and YouTube doesn't handle 4K streams very well because I'm streaming in two places at once. So it's not a perfect double top. Yeah, I just noticed it's one tick off. Yeah, it's actually not a perfect double top, but it's close enough to where I'm very bullish for it. All right, we got the market opening in 8 minutes. Time to chat. What are your guys' sentiments today? You guys leaning bullish, bearish? What is your guys' trading plan if you have any? Ryan says bullish. John says bearish. What time frame are you on? I'm on the 1 minute. There's not much to see on the 50 minute. It's bullish. Well, I think it's short-term bullish. I don't know after that. I pretty much only have sentiment for this little slide break on ES. That's it. Keep in mind, ES is on my left. Nasdaq is on my right. It did run all night. You know, it would be a lot easier to be bullish if it didn't run all night. But because it ran all night, but it also dropped for most of the week, it's kind of difficult. Riker says today I'm thinking bullish, good trend, good pivots above us, but also in supply. This supply is only a 30-minute supply though. NQ has much more supply. Sorgan is very bullish. Okay, buddy. And then there's freaking Elite 3 Alf. Elite Alf. You know what you sound like, Elite Alf? Here, I'll send this to you. Sound like Eeyore, dude. Looks like it's gonna rain again. That's you. Hang on. Where's the one that Eeyore? How do you spell Eeyore? Is it E-O-R? In it? I don't know. Hang on. Is that how you spell Eeyore? Oh, that's not even close to how you spell him. I would have never guessed that's how you spell Eeyore. Okay, let me see if I can find a better tenor. Let me see. Oh yeah, yeah, there we go. Oh bother. It's Friday bullshit it probably. Gonna lose all my money today. Yeah, it's Eeyore with the Y is in front of the O in an attack. I'm just messing with you, Elite. It's okay. I welcome pessimism in trading. Pessimism is a great trick to not be disappointed if you're never expecting anything good. It's a great way to maintain psychology too, because if you're pessimistic and preparing for your trades to stop out, it's much easier to accept those losses, and you're surprised when you win. So I'm all for it. So we got 5 minutes to market open. We kind of sprinted through our daily devotional and psych prep this morning. Didn't take long at all. We're right back. I'm gonna grab some water. Oh my gosh, we're dropping before market open, folks. It's a chance I'll be able to trade The SPX calls. This is what I'll be looking for. And I'll save buying power to average down because I don't want to give up on this trade easy. Here's NQ making a lower low. We do have a pretty minor pivot here on the Nasdaq. Pretty minor though. Don't really have anything major until all the way down here. All right, 1 minute till market open. Never mind. Gosh dang, we're bouncing before market open. I feel like it's gonna open and then it's gonna hit my PT, and there goes my sentiment for the day. I'll have to be a bottom Peter, kind of like scouring the ground for scraps to make money. Double shoulder. What do you mean a double shoulder pattern? Hater, what's that? Are you talking about head and shoulders? Head and shoulders. I don't see head and shoulders on my chart. See a bull pennant, a large bull pennant, and yes, potentially a bull flag, but double shoulders is the new lingo. Thanks for updating me, Ryan. I can always count on you to keep me updated with all the new lingo. Words these kids be saying these days. Oh, yes, that's a bearish open. Okay. If we come up, I'll be in there like underwear. Maybe not like underwear, but I'll be in there. Yes, a lot stronger than NQ. A little bit more, little buddy. That'll do it. I did fail if you heard the little ding because I always forget to mute my computer. All right, I saved buying power to average down because the risk reward is pretty garbage. And look at that. That's why. That's a pretty decent average up there. I'm not gonna lie. It needs to close though. It needs to fully close. It did not close. We're just gonna be hornswoggling this morning. That's like 3 massive wicks in a row. Or validated the wick. Maybe. Make up your mind. Nope. Wick's coming back. The wick is back. It's half back. It's mostly back. NQ's going for this pivot. NQ did get that pivot. Yeah, if NQ can bullishly sweep that pivot, that's my average down, or else I'm stopping out of this. Feel like my ad's just going to be an average up. Yeah. That's a bullish liquidity sweep of this little pivot. That is indeed bullish on ES. Okay. Well, I added at 2.45. Not much for averaging down. I could have. I mean, I was down a bunch, but whatever. Oh my gosh, there it is. I love making money. Look at it. Everyone feast your eyes. All right, well, at least an ad is better than no ad, right? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna stop order, you weirdo. There you go. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking printing. There it is. There it is. I came in with one sentiment this morning. Literally one sentiment, and that's it. I'm bullish for NQ to break the supply, but I only have a runner left. Oh my gosh, look at us. Look at us kicking ass and taking names. Yeah, I feel the 4.5, and that's like nothing. Oh my gosh, NQ is gonna break the supply. It missed it by a. Man, I'm not gonna say that word. Barely missed it. If you guys are done for the day, that's awesome. This is actually a pretty decent call re-entry here, because NQ does need to break that supply. So if you're feeling a little risky, that is not a bad re-entry. I did re-add. I am scaling back into calls, pretty light size. Um, NQ barely missed it. I'll add heavier if NQ can invalidate this pullback, or just the bodies of these red candles. Like that. That's what you want. Yeah, didn't hold it. Nice buying wick, but you need that buying wick to hold. How much did this miss if I did? Is that a single tick? Let's see. 2 ticks. And on for NQ, that's really small. That's a really big pivot as well. It's a very big pivot. Looks like this pullback is going a distance. And it just goes all the way back down in my runner position, just gives back a bunch of profits. Knock on wood. That'd be unfortunate. ES is nice and strong though, and I did add SPX calls. I'm not alerting it though because the calls are expensive. And it's a small re-add, but for most people it's not. That's $400 a contract is not small. Buying wicks are gorgeous, but you need them to hold. You do need those to hold. Where did Hornswoggle come from? It's Hornswoggle. What the heck is that, Valentine? You're giving me an aneurysm mid-trade because I'm... What the heck are you typing in my chat? Hoggle Sworn? No. Trying to steal all my brain cells from me. Fire Fam says kicking names and taking ass. That's perchance even better. Yeah. I wonder if NQ is going to get this next die. Looks like the implied volatility is really cooling off. You can do it, little buddy. You can do it. Oh my gosh, we continue to make money. Look at us. Look at us making money and things. It's really a work of art, honestly. All right, well, I think that's it for me this morning. Chart. Very nice, folks. Very nice. Looks like the SPX calls are finally starting to chop. It's a lot of money made if you took those. That is a lot of money made. That is that's really nice. Look at that. What a way to end the week, folks. Like now futures probably not going to be very good, but I'm starting the audit process of my future strategy, so I'll just continue blindly collecting more data and accepting my outcomes. That'll be good at some point. First hour though, I mean, you can't get much better than that. I wish my average down would have been an actual average down. I mean, I entered that trade at 2.5 and I filled at 2.45 for my ad. Um, and it dropped all the way to like 1.7, I guess. I didn't see that, but I guess it dropped to like 1.7, like 1.6. So lovely. It's almost 100% gains. It's not wasn't too far off. Got to 4.7. I'll probably get there, but these SPX calls are starting to chop a bunch. No complaints on my end. Oh my gosh, they're still up. Give me a second, guys. All right. Hopefully you guys took it. Well, those of you that are in this YouTube currently, I appreciate you guys for taking advantage. And it looks like my sell was pretty dang good because those SPX calls are absolutely destroyed. So fantastic sell. I'm kind of bullish for NQ to break the supply at some point. But anyways, glad you guys in YouTube took advantage of this. As you guys know or should know, I do live trading every single day. For 3 hours a day, plus Devo and Psych Prep before. So I'm in voice for 4 hours a day every single morning, not counting the review and study session later in the day. Um, but for free, outside of the Discord platform, I only do this on YouTube first week of each month. So uh, that's the last options trading. We'll see how futures goes. Probably not going to be very good. I'm pessimistic. But options, we've been freaking kicking ass this week. This has been a beautiful week of live trading. Did I even have any red days this week? I don't even think I had a single red day this week. No, I don't think so. Yeah, not bad. There were some. There was a difficult day in there, but where there were some losses, but no red days this week. So if you guys aren't in the Discord, um, we'll be doing this again first week of March. Almost certain you were green all five. I am certain because I just checked my broker. But as far as alerts, I was looking at the alerts because sometimes there's a discrepancy, right? Um, between what could have happened in the alerts and one of my cells. Like sometimes I'll be slightly red if I should have been slightly green off alerts because, I didn't hold my runner long enough, or I kept the alert open because I knew it was still good, but I sold prematurely by accident or something. Last week I accidentally left a position open. I didn't even know about it till later in the day, so I took an unnecessary loss. But no, this week's been freaking solid. Can't complain. Gene says, "Thank you, sir. You absolutely helped me bank today. Congrats on the gains, dude. Do not give them back. You're done trading for the day. Enjoy your Friday. No need to put yourself in a bad mood for the weekend, right?" It's a big 100 ticks on ES. Man, I wish I could trade futures and options at the same time, but it's physically impossible for me. So, oh man, my life would be so much easier. All right, everyone in Discord, type in chat if you guys were green or red so I can send one more announcement bullying everyone that's not in here because I don't know why you wouldn't be in here. And for all you free people, now you kind of know what we do in premium every morning. The future strategy, that's something different I'm working on. That'll be great within the next week or couple of weeks. But at least for the options, where I make my money personally, you guys know what we do in premium. So, all right, everyone's green. Sweet. Congrats. Congrats on overcoming your depressing sentiment, Elite. That's awesome. Oh, congratulations on the payout, Papa. $3.5 thousand payout. That's awesome. And the premium subscription, does it also include the indicator? No, that's completely separate. Oh my gosh, NQ's going for the supply break. Look at it. Gosh, man. You can't get, like, we all entered calls 1 minute after market open. Literally, I even entered some at market open. Okay, we entered calls at market open. Like, it's pretty hard to not make money. Tommy would find a way, though. Tommy would say it's a chase because we entered on a green candle. Why don't you simply only trade futures? Because I don't make more. I make more money on options. Even with a small account, like with a small account, I can pull out. Like I did a test at the beginning of this year. I haven't been trading on my big account for 2 weeks, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back to trading a bigger account. I'm not good with small accounts. It's too hard. It's too hard to not be attached to the account balance because on small accounts, it's like I don't really care about this amount of money, and it's not detachment in a good way. It's detachment as far as reckless. So I noticed some psych deterioration. Not really psych deterioration, but just carelessness. But even just in the last 2 weeks, I've pulled 7 grand out of an 8 grand account. I mean, a 5 grand account. Like my account, this little account's up 150%. So it's like, but I'm gonna go back to my bigger accounts because it's not. It would be cool to turn this small amount of money into a huge amount of money, but honestly, my psych, I don't think I can really do that. I like paying myself out, weekly and daily and whenever I feel like it. Whenever I need a little psych reset, I just pay myself out. I don't think I've actually had a single red day on this account, to be honest. Yeah, because it went from 5 to 8.3, reset it back to 5, 5 to 8.7, reset it back 2 days ago, and now it's from 5 to 6.4. So I think I'll just close this and then go back to trading my normal stuff because would have been up more money the last few weeks. Definitely a decent amount more money, but also my site just isn't as good. You're doing options. No, Cajun. I usually trade on no less than 50 or 100K. That's the absolute minimum that I trade on. But for the last 2 weeks, because of taxes and stuff, I had to calculate how much I owe in taxes, liquidate it, refill the portfolio, all that stuff. And while I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, I'll just trade a small account. But if you guys are trading my alerts and you only like, I wanted to see, okay, if someone's following my alerts, realistically, how much could they do? And if you're taking one contract, like literally one SPX and then 4 QQQ contracts on a 5 or 10 grand account, you're able to make a few $100s a day. Like, not a problem. 1,000 or 2,000 a week, it's not a problem. Your psychology better be fantastic though when it pulls back. But yeah, how do you tax structure? Any CPAs for traders you recommend? No, I don't really have any CPAs I could recommend. It's just basic. I trade SPX, so it's 60/40. My taxes for at least trading options is 60/40. Futures, because I'm trading with prop firms, it's taxes 1099. So you deduct all your stuff from that. Are you doing trading options live in your Discord? Yeah, I trade live every single day. Cap says 10 minutes and done. Great Friday, great week. See you later, Cap. Congrats on the gains, man. I do Nasdaq too. That is correct, Yuki. I haven't noticed any like wash sale. Yeah, Nasdaq QQQ is like gray area. In my wash sale, it's like I'll have a little bit of wash sale losses that I can't claim, but it's like nothing major. Like I'd never notice it. Dev says I really need a CPA this year. I don't even know if you do, to be honest. You can file yourself. I mean, you're just trading funded futures. It's just like you take your payouts and then you take every single dollar that you've spent on futures trading, every dollar that you've spent on, so on and so forth. If I were you, Dev, and you're starting to make money, which you kind of are, make an LLC. Make an LLC if you don't have it already with an EIN, and then you could keep trading the accounts that you have, but start trading under a new prop firm account under that EIN. That's what I do. So you're not trading under your social security. There's NQ breaking the supply just as predicted. That was kind of my last prediction I had. The calls are chopping pretty hard though. Jeez, man. The calls are getting destroyed this morning. NQ calls, QQQ calls haven't even hit new high of day yet from all the way back here. No, one of the greatest things about me deciding to do this Discord stuff and alert stuff is the freaking tax. The tax write-offs I get from doing what I do. Oh my gosh, man. There's not much in my life that I can't write off. And everything that I can't write off, if I launch that car rental company again, the rest is written off through that. So I average like 10%, anywhere from 10 to 15% income tax is what I pay. Or 10 to 15% of my income goes to tax. That's pretty much it. I think it's actually, some years it's been like friggin' 5. But yeah, I average about 10%, 10 or 15%. Oh, they're complicated? Okay. Are you trading? Yes, Valentine. Yes. That's it. Yeah, no, I only trade 10. Well, I don't understand how like normal people just decide, yep, I just want to give all my money to the government. It's freaking stupid. That's for stupid people. That's why people stay poor. It's like, how are you ever gonna win the race if like 30 to 40, especially if you're in California, terrible state, How are you ever going to win anything if you're paying 30%? No one pays that much tax. Literally no one. Only one of my wealthy friends pays that much tax, but that's because he's stupid. And that's getting fixed. No one pays that much tax. Freaking Liam pays 10% tax and he makes 10 to 20 million a year. And no one pays that much tax. But Liam's a lot smarter too. He has a holding company, and all his trading and everything is done out of his holding company. And if you have a holding company, it's a flat 15% tax because once you have if you all the stuff you do with your LLCs are under a holding company, according to I haven't looked a lot into it because it seems too advanced for my pay grade. But he just called me 2 days ago and had a long conversation with him. And by the way, he's still trying to buy the Chrysler building, but he's getting outbid because RXR came in and now they're bidders, so it's probably not going to work out. But anyways, yeah, your corporate tax rate, so it's 15% flat tax if you do everything under a holding company. But honestly, you don't need to get, let's be real, non-financial advice, but I mean, Andrew Tate said it, don't get legal until you get rich, right? I'm not saying avoid taxes, but it's like, if you're making less than a couple $100,000 a year, have an LLC and an S corp, and then you're pretty much good. You don't need holding companies and trusts, and you really don't need all that. Um, Once you get above 500 or $1 million a year, then you should give it more thought. Because if you're only making a couple $100,000 a year, you buy a freaking truck, and then all your taxes just go away that year. So a couple $100,000 a year is not hard to write off. Just pay the tax when the IRS shows up at your door. Yeah. Plus, you'll have a lot of penalties though. As long as you are productive at writing everything off and you file on time, you're not really gonna have issues. That is a beautiful price target if you took it to the supply break on NQ. Baker says, "Get me out of Cali." Drew just left Cali. He lived in California most of his life, and then he just moved to Texas. California is freaking anal with their taxes. All of my friends that lived in California got audited, uh, like by the state. Sonny says, Sonny says, what's the next TA looking for it to go back up? And he says, I literally need $100 to break my daily record. Sonny, it sounds like you're trading for money, which means you're going to blow your account probably within the next week. Stop trading. What are you doing? Trading, making money in this industry has nothing to do with being right or wrong or trying to make money. If you try to make money, you will lose everything. And I'm done trading because I don't have any more TA this morning. I don't trade again until futures in 30 minutes. I thought you're in Florida. No, I'm in Arizona. Who's your tax guy? I'm not telling you who my tax guy is. Why would I give that information to someone? Not that I really have anything to lose, but that's just weird. Oh yeah, Ryan, congrats on the new car, dude. I just bought this. Can I write it off? Yeah, no, you cannot write off that car. Sorry, buddy. But I don't. Usually I don't, but I'm 100 off for today. Okay, Sonny, it doesn't matter, dude. Sonny, let me ask you this, okay? If you are going to, if you're green today and you're happy with the progress you've made today and your psyche has been okay, if you take one more trade to try to make that $100, are you even going to stop out of that trade? And then if you lose that trade, well, if you couldn't force yourself to stop trading because you wanted to make an extra $100, you're so close to your target. Are you really going to stop if you lose that trade? No. What about if you lose the next one? No. All of a sudden, you're praying to God while you're all in on a trade, praying to just get it back to break even and you'll stop being a degenerate. No, avoid that whole mess. I don't know why you're flirting with Satan. Don't trade for money, dude. You're not gonna. If you lose, you're not gonna stop out. You are not willing to accept a loss, so you can't enter a trade. It's as simple as that. If you aren't willing to stop out of that trade, you can't take it. Jaja says I'm happy. I'm red, but I'm happy because I followed my rules. Nice job, dude. That's a huge trade, Jovan. That is a freaking huge trade. Mildly jealous. If I were trading futures this morning, I would have wiped out yesterday's losses. All right. I'll be right back, guys. Give me like 2 minutes. All right, I'm back. Jeez, dude, look at the pivots. The bullish liquidity sweep on NQ, the bearish liquidity sweep coming all the way back down. So much money to be made today. That's nuts. Sebastian says that's literally what happened to me. Yesterday, took a $2.5 thousand loss on Wednesday, tried to make it back yesterday. Had made 1.2 while trying to make the other 1.3 and ended up blowing my accounts. Yep. Yep, that's the way it goes. Sonny, don't tell me you're in a trade right now. His last words were, usually I don't, but I'm $100 off today. Oh boy. Clenched. Yeah, it's backtesting TCG. Are you done trading? I mean, I trade futures in 25 minutes, but that hasn't been going great lately. My strategy still needs to evolve a bunch. It's much more mechanical than the way I trade options. So, um, yeah, the win rate isn't nearly as high. If you guys do lose futures accounts, make sure you freaking sync your Tradeovate to our journaling platform that's completely free, the North Star Edge platform. Sync your trades and save the data. Stop blowing your accounts and losing all the data. You're not going to go anywhere. Friday Trade Sim. Quiz ever going to make a comeback? Friday Trade Sim is not because it'll be Trade Arena, Ryan. And Quiz, the Quiz can make a comeback at some point. I took a long break from it because it's just like, it's the same thing. And it's just, we don't have a variety of winners anymore. People that have been doing it from the beginning, they're going to get every answer right. And yeah, but the quiz will make a comeback, and then Trade Sim will not because it'll be Trade Arena. Do you use overnight price action for your pivots? Yeah, Mix. Yeah, it's always a like. That's why I always look at the futures charts, ES and NQ, and then electronic trading hours. So I see the overnight price action. And if I were just trading stocks, I would just do regular trading hours for supply and demand purposes. The pre-market and after hours candlesticks will create a lot of crappy demand zones and supply zones that aren't as reliable. But yeah, the small account life will be coming to an end. Next week I'll be back on a larger options account, but I'd say my test was successful. Why wouldn't you make more money trading subjectively? Correct, Meow Mix, but my psychology isn't good enough. Like it doesn't trading 3 hours on end in the discretionary mode, especially when futures requires you to be consistent for days. Yeah, I'll make money. I'll make money. I'll get payouts, but I'll always blow my account after the second payout or the first payout. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to make an extra $40,000 to $80,000 a month every single month off of a mechanical strategy that I just simply execute. And it's trading in the full discretionary mode. Ask TCG, ask a bunch of other people that have been making good money with prop firms. They've been doing that, but it's not. You're not going to get the consistency as like this is my income, this is what I expect to make each week, each month, so on and so forth, until you mechanicalize your discretionary biases. And that's what this strategy is doing. Is it's the process, which is painful and slow. It's the process of mechanicalizing my discretionary probability analysis. And as I continue to fine tune it and whatnot, the win rate will slowly go up, and the consistency will go up as a result. But it's like, yeah, it does not work. You ever swing? No, I just day trade. I don't swing any options. Which resources would you recommend to learn supply and demand trading? My masterclass. I mean, the indicator is a monthly subscription, but the masterclass teaches you absolutely everything you need to know, and it's a whopping $100. So that's what I would recommend. That masterclass is a must if you're trading supply and demand because it is a solid. So I mean, look at it. Look at that demand bounce that just happened on NQ. It's a very solid strategy. You were on for 2 weeks. Yes, Ant-Man. Don't be asking me to do a small account challenge. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. It was just a fun little experiment that I've done for the last 2 weeks. Just this week and last week. Journaling, what should I use? I use pen and paper, but I also use my website, my journaling platform. I would recommend, actually, if you're trading options, pen and paper. If you're trading futures, use my journaling platform. It is completely free, but if you're trading options, pen and paper. I don't do pen and paper options because my alert channel acts as my journal. I do pen and paper futures though. No, you don't need to join premium to do master classes. It's no. So what you're gonna do is all of you guys that are free, go to my website and save the Mark Douglas series. That's the only way you're gonna get that valuable education without being in my server. So head over to the website. In the top right corner, log in with your Discord account. Once you're on the dashboard, click available recordings, and then go to the 7-part Mark Douglas series, which is the most valuable educational resource that exists in this industry. There is no course, no masterclass. There is nothing that anyone can teach you that is more valuable for your trading career than that. And it's completely free. Just save it. So go to the available recordings after you log in the top right corner. Save the Mark Douglas stuff, and then you'll also see my masterclasses there. I do masterclasses like once every 2 months at this point. So a lot of them are old, but the three most recents are really solid. The ones with like the PowerPoint presentation with the title screen, those are the ones I'd recommend. But all of you guys, at the very minimum, log in, save the Mark Douglas 7-part series to your library. It is completely free and you can watch it there anytime. The reason why I don't have it on my YouTube or anything like that is because it's illegal, it's copyrighted. So the regular account you turn on, you still, yes, just on this small account little challenge I've done for the last 2 weeks, it's the exact same. I'm just trading smaller size. It's the exact same. Except the size that I'm trading in relation to the account is bigger than if I were a little bit bigger if I were trading on a regular account because I'm not, I'm not growing my big account by 120% in 2 weeks. It's not happening. Or 100 and hang on, I can't math for some reason. Give me a second. Wait. 170% in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's not happening. Not with that attitude. You're right. It is kind of tempting, Lone. It is kind of tempting. Not gonna lie, after this, I'm like, if I didn't have as good psychology, wasn't as disciplined, I could do that. I mean, technically I could, but I am not willing to lose it. So it's a lot easier when you're willing and don't care to lose money. That's very sweet of you, Sonny, but I'm gonna delete that message because I don't want people to come in here and think that I'm like poaching other servers members because these live streams are for utility, right? The reason why these started is because a couple people in premium asked if I can record my live trading. I'm like, well, I don't want to record my live trading every day because you know how many gigabytes that would be each week to save on my computer. But if I do 1 week where I live stream my trading for free, well, it's great to connect with people outside of my circle, but also at least 1 week out of the month, YouTube will have the recordings of my live trading so you can see how I operate psychologically and TA wise. Can I make 8K instead of 7K? No, I'm up 8.5 loan. I still have some time before I can even trade futures. Still got 7 minutes till I'm able to trade futures, so I'll just kind of keep hanging out waiting. I don't really have anything to say at the moment. Right. 5 more minutes. I'm done for the day. All right, nice job, Sonny. Congrats on the green, dude. What would this be? We have, technically, this is a bearish liquidity sweep on NQ because it is technically touching the pivot. It's not too far over it. So to the downside, we have 2 going against it. To the upside, we have 1 going against it. If ES were to flip strong enough to take this trade, we would have NQ liquidity sweep, strong liquidity momentum, and NQ bullish liquidity sweep here supporting it. Yeah, that could be 3-1, but ES would have to be definitely strong, like a very defined strength, and then I could potentially take that. But this is also a slight gray area. There's a few issues with my future strategy that I'm working out as I continue to audit through stuff. I audited 1 month so far, and I need to go back and review after I audit all the months. So I pick up, take note of all discrepancies, fix a bunch of discrepancies, and then leave a bunch of trades circled to review. And I'll send you guys a picture in chat of this. So you guys in Discord will see this picture. Fortunately, YouTube doesn't allow me to send images in chat. So like that's 1 month's audit of discrepancies. So I note every single thing that I change, every single discrepancy, every trade that I export from one strategy to another. This is me auditing the discrepancies between my initial backtesting and my execution of the strategy, which are 2 different strategies, like in 2 different strategies in the platform. And then I'll do that again for August. And then after that, I'll come back to these pages. Every single thing is a circled, every single circle is a reviewed trade that I need to review. And under it is the highlighted issue. And there's like 4 big issues that keep coming up. And then once I come back and review all of those, I'm gonna have to take all of the setups, create a huge collage of all the wins and losses, and start connecting. Okay, which decision, which subset of rules would increase my win rate the most in these specific circumstances? And then I'll take that subset of rules, which will be the final. That'll be like the final say, pretty much. That's the final ruling on, okay, of these gray areas. And then I take that and execute those trades in January, then compare that to my live trading, and also do December as well. Do December, do January. I'll probably redo December, do January, compare that to my live trading because I have so much freaking data for my live trading. And my journal, I have years of futures tradings in my, like 2 years of futures trading in my journals. And that's how I'll root out those gray areas. So it's a lot of work. But there's a lot of money on the table as well. SOA? What's SOA? Wait, isn't that a Discord? Is that Sean Solano's Discord? I don't know. Maybe a year or so? A couple of years? I don't know. I've been trading on the Discord platform for 5 or 6 years. Riker, that's an interesting question. So his first question is, when did you start trading? Started trading in May of 2020. And ever since I started trading, it was an everyday thing. I didn't just pick it up as a hobby. It was literally every single day from market open to market close, every single day for like 2 years straight. And how long did it take you to get where you are right now? Uh, just about 6 years. To get where I am now, yeah, since May of 2020. So, was that 6 years? Technically. I mean, if we're being technical, yeah. Because if the milestone is where I'm at now, then yeah, it's my entire trading career. I appreciate that, Psychorator. I do apparently have, I don't know, a lot of people complain that people in Arizona, born and raised, have accents, so I do mumble a decent bit. So I've been told. But yeah, I try to. If you could change one thing from when you started, what would it be? I would not have alerted my trades in the beginning. That should have never happened. Keep in mind, there's good money in the analyst stuff. I don't really, mostly servers I'm in, I don't even think they pay me. I don't even know. I don't track it. Or I do track it, but like I check once every 6 months or something. So find out they don't pay me and I leave. But yeah, I would have never alerted my trades in the beginning. I'd be much further along if I didn't do that. All right, it is futures trading time. Strengths are even though. It wasn't that fast, Tim. I'll go over that in a second. I need to lock in. The strengths are pretty even. Well, okay, is this count as bullish consolidation here? Nah, well, it also counts as bearish chop. This is bullish consolidation. I wouldn't say it's stronger, though. This looks like bearish chop. So if I were to do this, we have liquidity momentum, NQ bullish liquidity sweep here. We have this potential bullish consolidation, but I'm going against the bearish liquidity sweep on NQ and the bearish chop on ES. So this is certainly bearish chop. That is 3 higher highs here. So I can't enter. Let me make a note of that real quick. Okay. Yeah, they were like 90%. I've always been good at TA. So, I mean, I alerted freaking uh 6 months after I first started trading. But it was in a server that my buddy ran, and I just alerted. So I paid $100 a month for the black box stocks service, which is options flow and dark pool. So I would just forward their alerts to the server because it adds value to the server, and I use them and I like them. And the win rate was better than what I was doing. Um, and then it was mostly just trading ideas because during those days I wouldn't eat breakfast until the market closed. Like, you guys don't understand. It was literally all I did. So for over a year straight, I didn't eat breakfast until the market closed, and I'd pull multiple all-nighters because penny stocks were really hot. Watching penny stocks, trading the pre-market, trading 4 hours before market open at 2 a.m. So during that 6 months, I got as much TA learning, technical analysis learning, as someone who's traded for 4 years, right? So there's that. But I didn't start actually like alerting because when Aurora first started, it was December of 2021. Now this server will tell you it's March of 21 or something because the server got nuked, but in reality, it was like late December of 2020 or really early January 2021. It pretty much started January of 2021, right at the beginning, right after the new year. And yeah, it was invoice every single minute of market open, literally every single minute of market open, from market open to market close, trading options all day, every single day. And that's where I kind of blew up because I was focused on, because I was alerting my trades, I just focused on win rate. I focused on 90% win rate. So I did. I mean, I hold the Discord record, I think, for 86 green trades verified in a row. But do you know how many of those trades had a bunch of average downs? How many of those trades that bailed out at break even because it was going to go red, right? You can't go on a streak that long just by, So bad psych was used to do it. And when I lost that streak, I lost pretty much all the money that I made during that 2 month streak, I lost when that streak was over. And that's how it goes, right? So I really focused on the 90% win rate. And I didn't even think about doing a premium or anything like that until it was August. I believe it was August of 21. So from January of 21 to August of 21, 8 months, I was in voice every single day, 8 to 9 hours a day, trading, like actual live trading, like what I just do during the first hour, all day for 8 months. And people, because my alert channel was in the free section or whatnot, the server gained a ton of traction because of that. Because I was always kind of really good at TA from the beginning, and the psych stuff hadn't really came in yet until was the GameStop stuff 21 or 22? Yeah, it was 21. Okay, that was a big part of it. But anyways, so that was a huge part of the influx of people. But anyways, yeah, I found out that a ton of servers were just kind of stealing my alerts and forwarding it to their servers, and those servers were charging money. And it's like, well, if people find what I do valuable enough to be worth paying for, then I'm putting this behind a paywall because they're getting stolen anyways, and rerouted to paying people. So that's kind of how that happened. But I did learn a lot of trading psychology in yeah, it was really early 2021, and that's kind of right at the foundation of this server is when I flipped profitable for the first time. Because I initially just created this server just to trade with people that just to trade with my friends. That's the only reason. It was never supposed to turn into a business, or that wasn't the plan. That was God's plan, but not my plan. But yeah, the server was created just to trade with people, and I flipped profitable February of 2021, and that was a whole ordeal I'm not going to get into. But that was a big thing, and it's because of that fire when you're first flipping profitable in options, which I flipped profitable by a lot and started going really good. That motivated me to, be in voice all day, every single day, share what I've learned with other people, so on and so forth. So it's because that happened that kind of gave me the momentum to build on throughout the rest of that year. And by the end of 2021, early 2022, this place was pretty cemented. But it was mostly just TA, because I had trading psychology. Well, I had much more than the average person, enough to be profitable, but not super profitable. Still in a boom and bust cycle. But I had no idea how to teach it until I discovered Mark Douglas. And then once I discovered Mark Douglas, then Then I actually learned how to teach because it's just so relatable. Mark Douglas's story is like the exact same as mine, like the exact same as mine. And yeah, so that Mark Douglas, me discovering that and then spending so many hours creating the notes of the Mark Douglas course, that kind of revolutionized what we do here. What's your ultimate goal, Make Tommy? My ultimate goal is arriving in heaven. Um, but if we're talking about a lesser goal than that, I don't even know. I haven't thought about it. What's up, Stonky? Tommy claims he got another payout. Oh, good for him. Wait, that's impossible. He blew all his accounts yesterday. How can he get a payout in one day on Top Step? The heck is that? Okay, this is kind of bullish consolidation on ES, and ES looks to be stronger. I think I'm actually able to go supply because we have the bearish shop is gone now. It's not bearish. Never mind. Oh no, do I count this NQ rising wedge? How many servers copy your trades? I don't know, CGT, to be honest. 30 or something, 30 or 40. I have no idea. Not really. That's a bit of a stretch. Well, it'll be bullish consolidation, liquidity, and momentum. Strong liquidity swing going against. Yeah, I could enter because NQ is bullishly consolidating. I do not really want to enter at high of day though. I don't really want to do that. But NQ, this is technically kind of looking like bullish consolidation here. Yeah, that is pretty much bullish consolidation on the Nasdaq. Well, then I gotta ask myself, is this continuing on a pivot on ES? If you took this idea though, it looks like it is gonna get the supply. Be really cool if NQ got a red candle. It's just too. I need. If NQ gets a green candle right here, it's just gray area because yes, this is a liquidity sweep, which is one reason. ES is strong, which is two. Liquidity momentum three. Um, and then bullish consolidation four, going against liquidity sweep on NQ and supply on ES. Oh, he says tomorrow I can request a payout. Jeez. Looks like it broke to the upside without me, so I can't get in. Yeah, that's valid. It's a really small pennant, but yeah, it's valid. This is a bearish liquidity sweep on ES. I think NQ is going to try to make a move to the IFJ. The way continues. Tim says, all I see is the same GIF with the UK policeman that says Bruce ruined my life or I hit rock bottom again. It's always like I'm finally at rock bottom. It's never the rock bottom. That's the funny part. I would have loved to enter those longs, but it's like I'm not. I can't. This is where I was really considering it here, but it's like this is bearish chop. That's bearish chop, which cancel out the bullish consolidation, unfortunately. But I am bullish for NQ to get new high of day. So let's see how that happens. Market's running without me again. Gotta love it. NQ looks like it's got a straight shot to new high of day. Looks pretty bullish. He says it's life changing. Yeah. Now you gotta get two of them, dude. Two of them's freaking sick. You do not need two of them, though. That's a joke. You do not need two monitors. Yeah, my Mac Mini handles it well. My fan on full blast with just one. Really? My Mac Mini powers two of them, and I never hear the fan turn on until I'm on the freaking Minecraft server running shaders. That's kind of crazy though that I can run those super advanced shaders while staying on 60 to 70 FPS with two of the monitors being powered. Stonky, I noticed that a lot of your entries are really close to high of day or low of day lately. What's that about? Like they're all really close with bad risk to rewards. Or that at least that's just what I gather from what you sent in chat. Chasing liquidity. Yeah, I know, but you got to keep. But I mean, here's the problem, Stonky. Right? If your hypothesis is, okay, I am bullish for the liquidity sweep, right? And I'm just going to leave this yellow line here, but disregard this. So if I'm bullish for this liquidity sweep, well, why am I bullish for this liquidity sweep? I assume you're bullish for it because a majority of this drop has been invalidated, right? Okay. So you're bullish because a majority of this drop has been invalidated and your price target is targeting this pivot, right? You're looking for a liquidity sweep. Well, your stop loss should be where your initial hypothesis is invalidated, right? So if I am getting in because a majority of this drop is invalidated, then I should get out when my hypothesis is invalidated by that same standard. So if I'm getting in because a majority of this drop is invalidated, then I need to get out when a majority of this run is invalidated, which will put my stop loss somewhere right here. Well, that's a problem, right? So realistically, if I'm going to take a gamble, it should probably be here or here. I like sticking around a 1.2 risk to reward usually. That's more like what needs to happen, right? And sometimes you can enter really close to the pivot and be like, okay, well, I'm getting in. Liquidity momentum is one reason, but in reality, the what's triggering me into this trade at this very second is this potential bullish consolidation. Then I can move my stop loss a lot closer because if I'm getting triggered in by this bullish consolidation, expecting a break to the downside, that hypothesis is invalidated by here, right? Bullish consolidation, break to the downside. Does that make sense, Stocky? So how is your trading when you reflect upon it from that standard? Right, so you entered here. Yeah, I mean it was breaking to the upside, but what's your hypothesis? Because your hypothesis can't be the bullish consolidation break because it's like, okay, it broke out. When does that invalidate? You know, it's not like we're gonna go back in time and all of a sudden it's not gonna be broken out anymore. Um, so I'd assume your actual hypothesis, this was your trigger, but your actual hypothesis was we invalidated majority of the move, and this is the pivot that I'm targeting. Okay, why are you targeting that pivot? Because the market chases liquidity. So which means my stop loss needs to be down here. Oh crap, my stop loss is too far away. This doesn't really make sense, right? So I can't enter the trade as a result. You just need to analyze your hypothesis and determine does your stop loss accurately reflect an invalidation of your hypothesis. Gotcha. Yeah, my setup is freaking glorious. I mean, I have trade evade a lot larger now, but let me see if I can take a picture of my setup. My desk is messy, so disregard it. I cannot fit the whole thing in the picture. Problem is I have to lean way back in my chair in order to fit this in the picture. So can't enter that. I'm not following the Olympics, no. So usually my Trade of 8 screen is much more to the left because it's actually just the internet tab for YouTube. But because I'm trading Trade of 8, it overlaps a bunch with my Thinkorswim. But that's me leaning like all the way back in my chair. Oh, I guess I didn't center that. Whatever. Okay, you guys can't even see the left side of my screen. That's fine. No, those monitors are great for a corner desk. I will say that. They're fantastic for a corner desk. And I would have my window open right here, but the sun comes in and blinds me. So that whole left side is all window, but I have the curtain down. Oh, nice, Donkey. Yeah, I think I'd like to think I have like the best trading setup because I've seen a lot of setups on YouTube and I think mine's better. I don't know anyone. I had to figure out if it was even possible to stack these monitors. Um, I hadn't really found anyone that was able to do it. And I had to drill a hole in my desk, and it still got some lean. Like it's a little sketchy. It's definitely leaning back there forward. I had to drill a hole in my desk to do it, and yeah, the operation that I have going on is kind of crazy. Yeah, you do. Ultra Arm. Yeah, Ultra Arm is the one I use. All right, can I get into a trading anytime soon? Yes, is stronger. We have NQ liquidity momentum. We have an NQ bullish. Hang on. Strong NQ liquidity momentum. If I go to new high of day on ES, which I would go to, I would need to go against this liquidity sweep and supply. So the only way I can get in here is if we bullishly consolidate or something. And this liquidity sweep is kind of a stretch on NQ. It's not really there, but this is also a sweep as well. It might be six. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a 61.8 bounce. So the 61.8 PT is like right over here, I think. Looks like it's gonna get there. That's a beautiful 61.8 rule playing out. Yeah. So its price target is here, right where this white is drawn. You know what's funny, TCG? My arms are on the same pole. I don't know if I can accurately take a picture, but let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get behind here. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, dude, look at this. And I'd love to have my window open, but it's like it just gets so freaking hot in here, and the sun blinds me. Okay, hang on. It's sending super slow, I guess. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at that. They're both on the same thing, and the pole is kind of drilled through the desk, but it's. You see how it's got some lean to it? Don't fix it if it ain't broken, though, and you know it's holding. And you know what's funny? I mean, they're all the way back, but I can actually pull my monitor just out more, and it just leans a little bit more, but it holds. So I've stress tested it. But that's not too bad. I have all of my windows open except the one right behind my computer just because the sun gets in my eyes, but I like the view. Actually, it's not that nice of a view, but it's cool being high up, I guess. That's pretty bullish for new hive down. Yes, still I can't enter because of this bearish liquidity sweep on NQ. If I didn't count this as a sweep, then I would be able to enter, but I cannot. The terrain in that picture looks like I'm freaking in Iraq or something. You guys get that vibe too? I mean, the actual buildings that have paint on them gives it away, but like just the terrain in general looks like freaking the Middle East. Looks pretty good to get there. Is there a single apart? Oh yeah, hang on. I'll go out in my living room just for you alone and take a picture. I'll be right back. I can't enter this anyways, unfortunately. The supply plus the bearish liquidity sweep on NQ kind of ruins it. But the sentiment's been correct so far. I get your supply demand alert channel, but I don't see your daily live. Um, I'm in the free trading stage, PX. If you go to the announcement channel, I'm in the free trading stage. What are your thoughts on Rob Smith's The Strat? I have no idea what that even is. I don't know who Rob Smith is. I'll be right back alone. I'm gonna snap a picture. All right, I'm back. Looks like it's happening. Don't really think there's any way I can get triggered in though, unfortunately. Let's go look for more pivots. Yep, these are nice. Lots of nice pivots coming up. And we got some solid ones on the Nasdaq as well. That's perfect double top on ES. That needs to break. If we pull back, that would be magical. It probably won't happen though. Because technically this is also a bearish liquidity sweep on the Nasdaq. And there's double top broken. And here comes, there's NQ new high of day. Bullish sentiment's been playing out beautifully so far. I'm leaning pretty bullish to 6923.75. That's what I'm bullish to. I think the only way I can enter is if, yeah, I get bullish consolidation here and one of them strong. You know, I need it above the pivot. Now on NQ, its pivots are a lot more far away, so I'm not too sure. At least a 25, 56.5. So I'll just keep hanging out waiting until there's something I can actually get triggered into by my strategy. Feel like I'm gonna have to finally get triggered in all the way up here and it's gonna drop. Well, we'll see. Ooh, I'm gonna have to enter a reversal trade. I do not want to get one, but that is a volume spike, a liquidity sweep, and we are in supply. Yep, that's gonna have to happen. If this candle closes super bearish, then I'll just enter now. Stop loss will be really tight. Got a buying wick. I'm waiting. Got a buying wick right at the end there. I don't really want to enter on a buying wick. I could. I'd rather just have kind of a small red candle. I just take it to the, I don't know. You could take it to the 38.2 or the 50%. 50% probably wouldn't be bad. Really don't want to enter a reversal trade though. But they did get the volume spike and the sweep. Just need one more solid red candle. Oh, if I get a red candle now, it's gonna be a problem because I'm actually kind of bullish for new high of day now that it's already gotten this green candle. Oh, where'd he go? Yeah, this is weaker than the Nasdaq. We're trying to be a little weaker. Nah, they're pretty even actually. So I technically really could have entered a short trade here. Would have been the world's tiniest stop loss. But what kept me out of it is the buying wick, which was actually really, really good discipline. And no, it's actually NQ that's weaker. The tiny buying wick at the end kept me out of it. If it closed no buying wick super bearish, like the value of 2 candles, then I would have hopped in. So that was really nice. Really good discipline. So this at 908. And now I can't really enter a reversal trade now because it's potential bullish consolidation forming, which is another keyword going against it. So, and also volume was removed at least from ES. That's why I need a Q new hive day because then I won't give it the volume keyword anymore. All right, that was nicely avoided. Very nicely avoided. Oh, NQ's back to being strong. ES is trying to put in bullish consolidation here. I need one more little oscillation though, and then I can enter all the way up here at high of day, unfortunately. If ES just does this, this is technically bullish consolidation. I can take it. But it's really small bullish consolidation, so not a huge fan. I hate having to enter these stupid continuation trades all the way at the top and bottom of the trend, though. It's been something that keeps happening lately. Oh, wait, never mind. ES got a higher high. Nope, still on the sidelines for a while. Bullish sentiment played out perfectly. I wish I was in for it. I'm gonna hang out on my phone for a bit. That's a reversal candle. I'm back, but it did not do it against a pivot. So no reversal trade possible. This could turn into bigger bullish consolidation. I wouldn't mind that trade. That's something I'd like to take maybe right here, going for the supply break. I'm gonna hang out on my phone for a while. I can't get in anything unless this turns into bullish consolidation. But even then, ES is potentially continuation on a pivot, so I need it to be over it. Have you guys seen the video of Trump talking about the discombobulator? Hang on, I need to send this to you guys. It's freaking funny. He says it's my name. I'm very proud of that name. Let's see. Is that it? Yeah, click that link and watch that video. I think it's freaking hilarious. This potentially turning into bullish consolidation on NQ. Please come back down before I have day. Or maybe just ES can do it. No, I'm not going to get it. It's going to go without me. Restricted video. The video is not available. Why is it? What? It's like a formal video. It's like that's like a formal video. Like it's not. Let me see. Who's account? It's NBC News posted that.
Discombobulated. It was, you know, practically a shot. Wasn't, you know, they were ready. Right. And when we came, they couldn't do it. You saw this in the video. You could tell. It discombobulated everything.
Man, I want to be in, but I cannot get into this freaking crap. That's so frustrating. Okay, we're gonna get to those pivots without me, unfortunately. Probably gonna get hornswoggled into some reversal trade. Go back to hanging out on my phone. Still just waiting. I think he's definitely stronger than ES. Let's see if we put in some kind of bullish consolidation. This bullish consolidation has actually ended up, it could be pretty big, which means my P2 would be probably be all the way up here, to be honest. We did miss that low though, which I'm not a huge fan of. Jeez, that'd be a crazy trade. With a crazy tight stop loss. All right, I'm gonna keep hanging out my phone. Doesn't look like it's going to bullishly consolidate. Looks like it's just going to take out new hive day. It'd be really cool if ES rejected before hive day and put in that consolidation, but I don't know if it's going to happen. There's not really anything I can properly be triggered into today. This was the closest thing here, but this was clearly bearish chop. And yeah, which is unfortunate. And no, it looks like it's getting high of day, so I'll just continue sitting on the sidelines. Maybe my first trade will have to be a freaking reversal trade, which I do not want. But that could be certainly possible. We'll see how ES interacts with this pivot up here. All right, ES got to the pivot, and that is a volume spike. If I get a bearish candle to sweep it, I have to take a freaking reversal trade. It looks like NQ actually flipped weaker than ES. Definitely can't be this candle though. Yeah, and Apex did bring back their 80% off sale, but I don't usually post 80%. I'll post it probably later just one time. But I post a lot on the 90%. If ES were to stay weaker, it would probably be like this. Yep, that'd be the trade. Be supply volume spike, liquidity sweep going against trend. But NQ looks a bit weaker, so it would probably actually be on NQ. Let's see. Yeah, no, I have to enter. I'll let the candle fully close, but kind of have to get in. Looks like ES is a bit. No, got a buying wick right at the end. I'm waiting. Could have potentially entered right there, but again, small buying wick at the end. I'll wait. Flipped bearish. Am I gonna have to enter? No, definitely not on this candle. Need one more smallish red one. This is actually turning into bullish consolidation. Too small to like enter, but it is bullish consolidation, and really it's just trend strong. Bullish consolidation going against supply and continuation on a pivot on ES. So I would not be able to enter longs. And now my entry would have to be like down here because I would need the consolidation to actually invalidate if I were to take the reversal trade. Discombobulator. No, yeah, that is really funny stonky. Something I would name it. It's so unserious too. Yeah, 80% off is the everyday. That's bullish consolidation on the Nasdaq. So I would be able to enter a small trade here if ES wasn't on the pivot, but because it's on the pivot, I cannot. That's 2 losses avoided, but I can't really get into any of the wins that I want to get into, which sucks. Yep, save me from a loss. Cool. Another loss avoided. We have a lot more pivots coming up though. So I feel like I'm gonna get triggered into one of these reversal trades. Yes, Top Step is finally introducing a consistency rule. Honestly, that should have been introduced a while ago. So they're introducing a consistency rule, but 3-day payouts now. Top Step went downhill in my opinion when they left Trade-Evade. They should have stayed on Trade-Evade. Trade-Evade's a great platform in my opinion. Oh, you can choose? Okay. It'll become mandatory eventually. 40% consistency will definitely be mandatory eventually. It'll eventually probably be 4-day with 40% consistency, splitting it down the middle. Yes, you are, John. Yes, you are. You gotta switch to Trade-Evade, dude. I freaking hate Rhythmic. I hate Ninja Trader. It's such an ugly platform and it pops up everywhere. I mean, I am partnered with Ninja Trader, but Ninja Trader owns Trade-Evade. But yeah, no, it's freaking garbage. Yeah, fills are nice. It's fast, but it's like, yeah, God, it's so bad. Brooke says I'm liking wealth charts. It's a hot take, buddy. Gotta use Trade-Evade. If you have the choice, use Trade-Evade because of my journaling platform. That way you can link your Trade-Evade to it, and your life will be so much better. Wealth charts is like Apex's Top Step X. Like it's their platform. That's why the accounts are cheaper if you do it on wealth charts. Oh, gotcha. That's still a potential liquidity sweep with a volume spike, but now it's just kind of a perfect double top, but it's not major enough. I think I might still actually be triggered into the reversal trade. I'm not even joking. Because we still have the volume spike on ES because it didn't make the higher high. But I need it to get down to like here because it's still potential bullish consolidation. So really it would be like this. Oh boy. I go to 38.2. This 38.2. I might just go to this 38.2 instead. Looks like he is getting buying with those, so I don't think I have to make this decision. And it's still bullish consolidation on ES. Oh, we have bullish consolidation on ES. For a long trade, you have bullish consolidation, trend, and strong, but you're going against continuation on pivot and supply, unfortunately. Now, if you want to count this liquidity sweep back here on ES, NQ, you can. But that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, that is a stretch. But if you do count it, you can enter, or I could enter. Um, yeah, I don't know though. My P2 would be these pivots on NQ, or this right here. This would be the trade that I take. Yeah, that'd be the trade I take. That's a tough. Let me document this. Maybe I'm gonna get a trade today. If this bullish consolidation collapses to the downside, then I'm gonna have to get in. Which means I'm gonna need it to drop to like here. But then I have potential pattern for the head and shoulders. Which means I still don't think I'm gonna be able to get in. Because that is very much so potential head and shoulders. Looks like bullish consolidation to me though. I'm bullish. I mean, you do have the perfect double top at a high day, but I won't be able to use that as a keyword because it's only like 1 point away. I really don't mind NQ shorts though. I think NQ looks pretty good at this level. I just can't enter. Looks like the bullish consolidation is potentially trying to break to the downside. Let's see if it can do that. I think he's trying to flip strong to catch up. Or was. Let me see, if I broke my rules this morning, how much would I have lost if I did that? Let me see. Much would I have been at drawdown on futures if I did that? That's good. That is bullish consolidation on ES, very much so. I just still cannot enter because it's continuation on a pivot. That is bullish consolidation and strong and trend going against supply and continuation on pivot. Looks good to break to the upside. Let's see how far it ends up going. I hang out on my phone for a bit. Okay, this is the perfect triple top. So if we were to drop, that's enough to give me a perfect top keyword. But that definitely needs new hive day on ES. I don't think we're going to drop before it gets it. Finish the day, finish the week great on options. Futures, most boring day of the week by far. So I'll just keep hanging out and waiting. Nothing else I can do, at least within the parameters of my strategy. I'll just keep hanging out on my phone. Yeah, should get hive day here. Okay, well, the problem is that is a perfect up, and I'd love to be longs for that break. But I don't really. Well, let me see. I have trend strong, perfect top going against bearish liquidity sweep and supply. What I really need, no, even if it came down and then came back up, it'd be pattern going against it, which would be another one. I don't know how I don't know a way I could potentially enter longs without breaking my rules. Well, the bearish consolidation has broken to the downside, so this is actually a short setup. I can't do it anymore though. I can't do the short trade anymore because of the perfect top that's here. There's too many of them. If this perfect top wasn't here, if there was just two and not four, then I would do it because these two are so close together. It doesn't really count as a perfect double top. I mean, they're right next to each other, but with that much, I can't because now I'm going against trend and this perfect top, and for it is only three. We have weak on NQ, volume, and liquidity sweep. Well, is NQ weak though? I mean, yeah, NQ is weak. I saw a pattern going against it. Maybe I could get in because perfect top and trend. Okay, wait. I can't tell if I'm missing a short trade here or not. Hang on. You're going against it. Perfect top, trend. Okay. For it would be liquidity sweep, volume. I guess volume's kind of a debate now though. So that's a debate. Uh, supply and then weak on NQ. It's 4 to 2, but the volume is very debatable. And you also have potential pattern as well. Yeah, that's pretty sketchy. I don't think I'm missing a short trade or anything. I'd like to just take longs here, you know, because it would be, let's see, strong, liquidity, momentum, perfect top. Yeah, no, I can't. Strong, liquidity, momentum, perfect top. Going against these two. If I had a liquidity sweep on NQ, this is the only liquidity sweep I have on NQ, but it's so far away and so like this liquidity sweep is gray area in itself. I was counting it right here because it was pretty recent, but it's so far and we chopped so much since then. I don't think it's very impactful at these heights. I'd like to enter longs here, but I don't really know if I can. What up? For longs? No, for shorts it is. That's why I can't enter shorts. Shorts is debatable though because I can see potentially 4 to 2 because I'd be going against trend and the perfect top, which is 2, and for it I have weak on NQ, supply liquidity sweep, that's 3, and the fourth would be the ES volume at high of day. But that high of day volume is starting to become less relevant because I mean we've had tops against that the entire time. So is this volume still impactful to the reversal? That's the gray area. Also, you have the potential head and shoulders on the S2, which would be another bad keyword. So yeah, I don't know. It's very sketchy. I'd rather not and just wait and see. But yeah, it would be an X. Because I personally like longs, but I cannot enter longs. Actually, if I can consider this entire thing bullish consolidation, then I could, but the problem with that is, can I also do perfect top as well? I feel like that's keyword stacking because it's also part of the bullish consolidation. Because if I were to enter here, if I'm going to try to swing it, it would be for sure strong one, trend, perfect top. The two for sure will be liquidity sweep and supply. The fourth one would have to be bullish consolidation. But the reality is, if it's going to be bullish consolidation, my fill is going to be somewhere up here. My stop loss is going to be roughly here. And then my PT would have to be like this next supply or something. But I can argue that the perfect top does get me pretty much halfway to my price target. It's pretty gray area. I'm thinking about taking it. Wait, hang on. Is this perfect bottom on NQ? No. But NQ also is missing this little pivot here, but even though it's not a keyword. And NQ isn't really head and shoulders anymore either. Tough decision. Tough decision, because I could technically get into longs on this candle if it closes bullish. I think I might pull the trigger. Yeah. I did. It's an impossibly tough decision. I don't know. It's sucks that I wait all this time and then the decision I have to make is like damn near impossible. But it is what it is. You can take this with your own discretion. I don't know. It's tough. I don't really foresee the potential head and shoulders anymore because it's just been kind of chopping down, except it's been making higher highs. But is ES still technically considered strong though on the candle that I entered? I may not be allowed in this trade because I didn't realize that NQ flipped strong and he has got the big red candle. I mean, it's been stronger. I wouldn't say it is stronger here though. I don't think I'm allowed in this trade. Was he as strong at this moment? I might have to sell it at a new high of day just because with a stop loss at break even. Because I don't know if I'm actually allowed in this trade at all. NQ flipped stronger on the green candle and then the smaller red candle. But ES has been stronger overall. Oh boy. Uh, my brain's freaking fried, folks. My brain is absolutely fried. This was my entry here. And ES is definitely weaker than NQ now. NQ may want to put in an inverse head and shoulders. The strength is too debatable. I think I need to sell it at the entry. From the place that I entered, the strength was too debatable. Or was it? Shit, I need to make this decision within the next like 5 seconds because it's about to break. You see. Gosh dang, I can't make this decision. I cannot make the decision for the life of me. ES invalidated majority more of the drop than NQ did at the entry. That would have been my sell right there, but I'm like frozen. I might need to let this trade go. Yeah, I mean, ES lost his strength to 2 candles before this same green candle, but way weaker red candle. But it's like, it's still invalidated more of it. I'm just gonna have to let it go. Whatever happens, happens, I guess. I'm just gonna have to let it go. I don't know, man. My brain's freaking absolutely fried and hornswoggled. It's a very gray area trade with just all of that. I didn't even document it at all because I've been freaking grinding my gears. There's the next pivot. Now I would be bullish for the next pivot on NQ. My PT may be a bit too far away though. I could come a little bit closer and go 1-to-1. I think that's perfectly valid to go 1-for-1 because really my PT is this NQ pivot instead of just going for the next supply cluster. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, it already got the 1-to-1. So my PT is this 2506 or 25056.5 pivot on the Nasdaq. That is a reversal candle though. Wait, is that perfect top? No, I missed the high of day by 1. Let me just document this. It's a pretty bearish liquidity sweep candle on ES. There against the pivot. That is not good. Looks like ES flipped a week. That is a really bearish candle there. Really bearish. I'll be right back, guys. Gotta finish filling out my journal. Well, I think you got high of day, but the pivot I was looking for is 25056. For me, my strategy, John, I just keep trading as long as I'm triggered in. If you're trading in the very discretionary mode, though, I'd probably recommend stopping for your psych's sake. But me, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't care too much. I ignore it. Okay, NQ did not get the next pivot, but I'll sell right when it does. Well, I put my order, it didn't fill me, but I did put my sell order there. It's literally hitting my order and doesn't want to fill. Why are we hitting my order and it doesn't want to fill? Oh wait, NQ didn't even break the... What? Never mind, NQ didn't even break it. It just broke it on the micro chart. Huh. Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter that my order didn't fill. One's supposed to get out technically anyways. Looks like ES is flipping stronger than NQ. But that is like a perfect top on NQ. That is terribly unfortunate. And my order was a hard order and it did not want to fill it. Touched it perfectly and did not fill it. So if that's it for this trade, that is like unbelievably unfortunate. I wasn't even supposed to place my order because I was watching the micro chart. NQ made a higher high on the micro chart. On the mini chart, which is what I do my TA on, I didn't, but I still placed my order, and I watched price action touch my 69.26 order multiple times before it just decided not to do it. But now my hard order is right here. I'll move it closer though, because yeah, NQ still may try to go for that pivot, but that's missed pivot now on NQ. I do not like that candle. That was a really bearish candle. I mean, it's not like a huge pivot or anything. It's a decent pivot. We have another small one right here, but I just moved something. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, NQ flipped weaker. I mean, stronger than ES. That's unfortunate. Where's my 1-to-1 at? It's right there. So I can technically sell at 25.5. Unfortunately, ES flipped super weak, so if NQ does get the supply break, I'm not gonna get the order that I wanted. The absolute closest I can sell is 25.5. It looks like it might be done going up though. ES is trying to flip super bearish, super weak. Yeah, ES invalidated that whole green candle. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's just, even if NQ gets up, that's just profits on the table now because ES flipped weak. But if this trade goes to red, I'm going to actually be pissed off because I had my order there and it touched my order twice and decided not to fill it. Looks like it's it. That's pretty freaking bearish on ES. I'm still bullish on NQ to break supply, but ES is a very bearish chart right now. That is incredibly bearish. Nope. Back to waiting. So freaking unfortunate. This would have been a pretty green, this would have been a lot better if I were able to enter on NQ. Actually, not that much better. Just a little bit. That's bearish though. Gosh dang it. That is like so incredibly unlucky. I watched price action bounce off my order twice without filling it. That is so annoying. All right, back to hanging out on my phone. I'm leaning bearish now though. So incredibly unfortunate. I have my hard limit order at the 1-to-1 risk to reward. Got absolutely screwed by it not filling my order, number one, and number two, ES flipping weak on the drop. And now that's a bearish liquidity sweep on NQ against the other pivot. That looks like a blow off top on the Nasdaq. Oh boy. Step out of my office for a little bit. You could put the PT at new high of day on ES because it is a little perfect top. I just have to leave it at the 1-to-1 because my PT hit on NQ. Really, really frustrating because I watched this order bounce off of 69.26 twice here, and it decided not to fill me. So even on the chart, which doesn't really make sense, it got a one tick above it and didn't fill me. So, and then unfortunately, ES flipped weak and NQ hit my PT, so now I just have to stick with the 1-to-1. You could easily, extend it a full point, but God forbid I extended it to high of day and it only got to this one and turned around. That would be absolutely devastating. So I have to leave it at 1-to-1. But I'm going to step out for a bit. Hopefully I don't get scammed. David says, before I step out, David says, I had a question. I'm working with my strat where the risk reward is 1.7 to 2 and half my positions get sold at 1-to-1. Usually because there's supplier demand or pivot, but with 1 MNQ I can't do that. So should I scale up to 2 MNQ? If you're back testing, if you like your back testing and you like your strategy, then yeah, scale up to 2 MNQ so you can execute your strategy. And you're not doing it out of a desire for money, you're doing it because you're forward testing the strategy that you've created. Right? So if you're scaling up to forward test and that's the only reason for it, it shouldn't deteriorate your psychology if you end up losing twice as much, even though it's still 2 MNQ is really small still. It shouldn't destroy your psychology if you lose because you're not doing it out of your own choice. You're doing it because you need to forward test your strategy. So if your strategy looks good, you have solid back testing, it's time to forward test it. Well, then there you go. Man, ES is so much weaker than NQ. Right. I will be back in a bit. Okay, the most stressful thing ever. You could go for high of day. If you went for high day, all right, well, one and done today, I guess. Technically, this is a potential reversal trade right here at the high, but that is a solid little base hitter win. Gosh, that's freaking stressful as hell. I'm pretty upset. I could have made an entire extra point, but in that situation, it's like I gotta go for the 1-to-1 because God forbid if it got the 1-to-1 and didn't get high of day and came down, that would absolutely just devastate me. So the threshold of how much that extra point would cost me if I'm wrong psychologically would just absolutely devastate me. I would not be able to handle that. So it is what it is. 1 second. At least we did all that. This trade is so gray area though. I don't know. I'm bullish for these pivots up here on NQ. My original PT on ES was right here. It looks like it's probably going to get there. Um, but, you know, if ES didn't flip so dang weak, would have probably been able to make more happen. But it's a green day, so I can be thankful for that. Right, sweet. And my original PT looks like it would have hit. But all right, guys, I'm out of here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Um, Green Day, solid way to end the week. Good discipline. I could have taken 2 reversal trades, and I avoided them out of discipline, so that was nice. And my original PT hit, so that's cool. Could have made a lot more on that trade if you wanted, which is also kind of painful too. But it's like I was in between a rock and a hard place, and that entire trade is gray area as well. So yeah, the whole thing was sketchy. All right, hopefully you guys made some good money today. I will see you guys later for the trade review. No study session tonight, just a trade review. I'll keep you guys updated on how I continue to evolve my strategy. I'm working on it every single day. So if I don't see you again, whether I don't see you on the Minecraft server or don't see you in the trade review or talk to you in chat, you guys have a blessed weekend. And the free live trading is done. If you enjoyed it and you're free, join freaking premium. What are you doing? Also, do not think that premium is $65 a month forever. If you do the path to success, your price will drop to $45 a month. And then if you get a year of profitability, it'll drop to $20. So you'll be rewarded as you progress, right? We pay you back to reward, you investing your time in education here. All right, I will see you guys later. Great day today, and congrats on the green. If you continue to trade, good luck. Have a great weekend.